Hello everybody, this is Red Seagull Politics and I'm back with a new video. This is a story about how I used to like LTE and then I changed. So I'll just start at the very beginning, and this just talks about the history of LTE and how I felt about it and how he's really changed since he first started. So I'll start from the very beginning. Now this is actually LTE's old Let's Talk Elections old logo. So I first found Let's Talk Elections in a video. I forget what it was, but I saw them pop up on these YouTube videos, and then I saw that he was using the 270 map, and I mean you could tell that he was kind of biased toward the left, but not a ton. He was kind of just like he was actually kind of like, I guess you could say, unbiased. I mean, he's always kind of had that Democrat tone, but he didn't really push it as much back then. So eventually he was gaining subscribers slowly. I think back then he only had 32K subscribers. I think he's always kind of had in the thousands. I think he joined in 2017. He was I found out his real name, I think around the same time. His name was called Ethan Kelly. I mean, I didn't know he had a Twitter account, but we'll get to that later. So that was his real name. I found out he also lived in Maryland, Prince George County, one of the most liberal counties in the United States. I think Trump only got like 8% of the vote. Yeah, he didn't even crack 10% of the vote. So I kind of knew he would be one of these big liberals. However, he didn't really push it like a ton, though. So things were just keep going on. He was kind of moderate, a little bit, just a teensy bit biased to the left, not really that much. But then I eventually found Red Eagle Politics. I eventually found Red Eagle Politics. When I first saw him, he had about 10K subscribers, and I said, this guy seems, and he was this Trump guy, and he just started out a YouTube channel. He joined back in January 2019, and his videos were a little bit biased toward the right, but I think you can kind of expect that from the name Red Eagle Politics. So this Red Eagle guy, he did show his face more often, as you can see. This is actually his face. His logo is, of course, an eagle, but let's just get to the point. He did these videos about how Trump was going to win big in 2020, and I think he did some, like, Democratic primaries. So, yeah, I think it was just good. I kind of went back and forth between LTE and Red Eagle. But then I kind of took a break for a little bit, sometime around a little bit after the coronavirus started, when Trump was doing those coronavirus briefings. And then Let's Talk Elections started getting biased around then, saying that Joe Biden is one of the greatest persons. I mean, yeah, I guess he did win the election, but but you can really see how biased his fans were. They're shouting stuff like, Trump must go, instead of the normal, like, I think it could go either way. Like, they were just pure liberal bias. They said stuff like, Biden 2020, instead of, like, the usual, like, I think this state could go this way, or that state could go the other way, or stuff like I think can you do an Abraham Lincoln versus Trump scenario, or some stuff like that, which is, like, harmless. But then you start getting stuff like, Trump is, like, is a piece of crap, or stuff like that. And that's when I started and then and then once he started gaining subscribers pretty fast. Then it's like at that point it was like 50 subscribers, but then that went up to like 100 subscribers a day he gained. And I mean, Red Eagle was also moving, but he was moving slowly. I know he was trying to get to 40 subscribers. He finally did eventually, but Let's Talk Elections was just beating him to it. With more liberals coming at him, I even got surprised to see that there were some former Trump voters that regret voting for him in 2020, saying that he just somewhere from Tennessee, somewhere from these other states. However, that wasn't really good for Trump, as I can see. However, as it went on, Let's Talk Elections went near the end of the election. Let's Talk Elections went from 100 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers a day. And that was pretty big, as Red Eagle was eventually catching on. He eventually, I think, at one point, he did get 500 subscribers a day. It is right before the election. And then finally, Red Eagle Politics broke some more goals with getting 10K, but Let's Talk Elections already had 30K by that time, 130K, and Red Eagle had 100,000 subscribers. And then eventually, when the election was over, his final prediction was that Biden would get 130 electoral vote. Trump would get 187 or 188 electoral votes to Biden's. I didn't really keep track of Biden's, but I think it was 350 or something. But then he was clearly biased. Biden did win, but he was clearly more biased than the other ones. He said North Carolina and Florida were gonna go to Biden, and I think he just ignored the fact that there's this Latino crisis for the Democrat, or just Biden was awful with Cubans, down the South, and I think he just ignored that and just said that Biden would win Florida, and just ignored that that was Trump's home state, and he also ignored the Cubans against Biden. And he wasn't wrong overall. I guess he was right on Georgia. But at that point, Let's Talk Elections was lost subscribe. No, he didn't really lose subscribers, but his videos were losing support. I remember a lot of times before the 2020 election, he got 1K likes on his video, and then it dwindled down to 500. Just after the election. Now, I think that does happen to every election channel. Once the election's over, it just gets raw. I know the 2022 midterms are coming up, and there's some 2020 small elections, but I still think there should at least be some supporters that are still back, but it's usually in the general elections when a lot of these big political channels get really popular. And then finally, just after the 2020 election, I just abandoned him entirely. I just didn't want to hear any more of his BS liberal crap. And I just said, you know what, I'm moving on. I'm just going to stick with Red Eagle. But then after the Georgia runoffs, I was like, I can't support Red Eagle Politics. If he's just going to go with every election, he's just going to predict it wrong. But then I just kind of got bored and then I went back to Red Eagle Politics. However, I found something quite surprising. A guy called Liberal Trash Exactness came on the board. He was some liberal. He was some Republican that was mocking Let's Talk Elections with his bias and saying that he's just a liberal bot or a liberal hack. And then, he actually got quite popular. I think he's at 200 subscribers. He's still pretty low. I'm just mentioning his name. I kind of like him. He's probably one of my favorite YouTube commentators. I think he's better than Red Eagle at this point. Mocking a rival political channel. That seems pretty good, actually. I kind of like the idea. I still follow Red Eagle and all, but I don't follow LTA at all. And I did forget the part where I did unsubscribe from him eventually. I was subscribed to him, actually. So, and then once I found less liberal trash exactness, I found something. I found some more right-leaning channels. Now, I'm not going to mention their names, but there's like this whole pack of them after this, and they were somewhere better than uh, liberal trash exactness, and some weren't, but they're still very good. Like Buckeye Politics, he's very good. I like him. I mean, he's from Ohio, and he exposes the liberals for who they are. I mean, if it actually, but I kind of have to thank LTE because he would have never gave us other election channels like Red Eagle or this liberal trash exactness guy. But it kind of shows how how biased you are to the left pisses more people off, and it just makes channels against you to attack you and say that you're just biased to the left. There isn't. I think there are some channels that make fun of Red Eagle, but they're nowhere near as popular as the ones that are making fun of LTE. I mean, if you look at the guy, he literally puts Biden stuff everywhere. But I think people know that he's just biased to the left. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This is a pretty long video. It's kind of like a documentary. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching.